Hey everyone, welcome to the Charlotte Mason Show. I am here with, this is your third time on, Anna. You like win the prize for being the most person on this podcast. Yes, I know, because you're such a superstar. I'm here with Ana Willis from the Homeschool Sisterhood and the Charlotte Mason Online Conference and 55 million other things, because she's just amazing. As we're going to talk about in this episode, she just goes and goes and goes and does so many different things. And so I'm starting this series for season 5 on homeschooling through different challenges in life, because you can't separate homeschooling from the rest of your life. And if you think that you're just going to have this perfect idyllic little homeschool experience and the rest of life is just going to take care of itself, you're going to be in for a hard road, because life and homeschooling collide. And that's some of the difficulty and the challenge of homeschooling. It also can be some of the blessing and learning those life coping skills firsthand, as well as you walk through it as a family. But today we're going to be talking about homeschooling through moving. And I thought I moved a lot because I've moved 12 times in 15 years. But then I listened to Anna's story and she has got me beat, people. So she is the homeschooling through moving expert. So Anna, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
You know, I lost count of how many times I moved, actually, in 14 years of marriage. I think we moved 17 times. I think this is the 17th time right now.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely have.
So we have
plus the whole like international move.
Oh yeah, we
lived
in. This is the fourth country.
Fourth country. Okay. Yes. So fill us kind of in on some of your story of moving and homeschooling and how that all, just kind of where you've been, and get us to where you are right now.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. I have moved so many times in my life that sometimes I really lose count. So we have lived in Israel, in Brazil, in Canada, and we're just moving to the United States right now, which is just have been a crazy roller coaster moving in season for us. We have lived in Canada in 3 different provinces as well. Okay. And in 14 years of marriage, I have lived in 17 different houses.
Plus the RV.
Whoa, the RV is one of them. And I have to say, Julie, the RV is the place that we have lived the longest.
Are you serious? Okay, so how long?
I am very serious. It's been 4 years.
4 years you've been in the RV. Okay.
And it started as a
4 years consecutively?
Yes.
It has.
Well,
okay.
We had a break last winter. We had a break. We rented a house for the winter because we were stuck in Canada. So we moved to the house in October and we stayed in the house until the end of May. That was the only break we had, but all of those years we've been living in an RV. But you know, the whole RV story began actually as a joke. I told my husband one day I was so sick and tired of moving that he just might as well just buy an RV. So every time we moved, we took the house with us.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a good.
And it became reality.
So it wasn't like this burning desire to like RV road school. This was just a practical, we might as well just keep this. This is stable. We're used to this, and take it with us.
Well, you know, it started as a joke, but because we knew we loved traveling, and apparently we love moving somehow. I might have some gypsy blood, you know,
I hear you.
Jewish blood, and definitely I think the Lord always brings me to the scripture about Abraham's calling. Mm-hmm. And he's about to tell me I'm going to move. I'm not kidding. Somebody preaches it or I read it somewhere.
That's so funny.
And again, I know in my spirit, I go like, we're going. It happened at our church right before we came this time. I looked at my husband, and because we were still debating, what do we do?
Abraham sermon, we're in trouble.
And the whole Abraham, you know, go where I'll show you. And we looked at each other, and our friend was sitting right in the pew in front of us, and she just burst laughing because she knows, like, the Lord, that's how he speaks to us. And we were like, that's it, we're moving again.
That is awesome. Yeah. So you're definitely the expert on this. And throughout this whole moving process, how many kids and what ages are they now?
Okay, so we have 3 kids, and I have to, okay, disclaimer, we're not a military family.
Okay, yes, I'm sure you get asked that a lot. Yep.
We are
and thank you to all our military families out there who are listening, who do have to move a lot for the military. I'm extremely grateful for your service and all that you do, because I know
we are very, very thankful. We have many friends who are in the military, and it's really hard for them when time comes that they have to move to the next phase. Very, very difficult for them as well, and make new friends and the whole thing, right? So we understand, we totally understand that, and we salute them for what they do for us. It's so much needed. But yeah, I have 3 kids, ages 9, 11, and 13. And the first big move for us was actually leaving Israel and moving to Brazil for 14 months. And my son was 2 years old, and I had a month-old baby. So that was the first big move for us. And then we were there for 14 months, and the Lord called us to Canada. So we moved to Canada. And at that time, I had a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and I was pregnant with the 3rd one.
Yes. Wow.
So I've done moving through all kinds of circumstances in my life.
and health-wise too. I mean, we're gonna have someone come on for another episode, talk about homeschooling through illness, but yeah, even last year you had a really hard road and moving. I can't even imagine moving through all of that. What have you found? Let's talk about the challenge, and we'll talk about the positive, because there's always a positive, right? What do you think is the biggest challenge of homeschooling through moving?
It's staying consistent to your routine.
Yeah.
That it
all gets thrown out the window. We're like, where are we? What box is that in?
Yes. Where are my books? Where are the pencils? Yes. Be organized definitely is a big one. Be organized. Be organized with your time. Be organized. Have your resources organized. Know where things are while you're moving. Homeschools. Like people normally leave the kitchen for last. We leave the homeschool stuff for last. That's how we do it. A lot of what we're using right now comes in the backpacks in the truck with us when we're moving, when we're traveling. So we kind of have like, this is what we need for every day. And everybody will have their pencil holders with everything that they need, their calculators, their notebooks, their books, the audio books will go in the car with us, But yes, for me, those 2 things is organization and consistency with our routine have been really life-saving in the midst.
How do you stay consistent with your routine throughout that? You're like, this is just, we keep doing it, even if we're staying in a hotel room today, or even if nothing is, we can't find the dishes. This is what we do.
Okay. For the routine for us, like my kids, I believe that routine brings safety, security to the kids.
Absolutely.
It does bring that normalcy that we're not having per se during that season.
Yes.
So what we do is, let's say our homeschool routine normally at home would take about 3 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours a day, right? When we are moving, we still have the routine, but perhaps we're going to have an hour instead of 3 hours, but we still kind of do the same things. There's a lot of packing that goes with moving. There's a lot of, we need to sell extra stuff. We need time for that. So we still have our routine. We just use a shorter block of time, for homeschool. And then we designate a block of time for all things packing and related to the moving. And the kids got to participate in that, which teaches them life skills as well. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. I mean, they are pros. They know the checklist and the system and how mommy organized the boxes and how things, I have everything organized by room and by sections of the rooms. So when we move to a new place, then we know exactly where those boxes are going to go. And then that makes it easier for us. But staying consistent, family first, make sure that your kids are not being ignored, make sure that homeschooling is still happening up to a certain degree. That for us has been life-saving.
Yeah, those are really great tips. And I can't remember what number I said that this move was because I lost count too. But, this summer we moved like an hour and a half away, and just extremely thankful. But it took me this long, move 11 or whatever I'm on right now, to learn what you said about the family first, because I'm extremely task driven. And so when I get in moving,
Who am I?
it's got to be packed. It's got to be packed all right now. It's got to be packed by this day. And then when we get to the new house, I can't rest until the house is completely unpacked. And
our brain does not work with chaos and mess.
No, mine doesn't. And
mine is a disaster. That's
I
why I need to
purposely this time said, okay, there's so many hours of this day is spent unpacking, and the rest is we're going to go do something fun, or we're going to go to a park, try to meet some new people. And that made a world of difference. It took a couple more weeks than it would normally have taken me to unpack. I've worked through that, but for my kids, it was so much more beneficial to, and they're dealing with so much too, which I love to touch on as well, is just the emotional impact that moving can bring, not just for kids, but also for you, right? And to have time to kind of spend together, to do fun things, to kind of explore our new place and go find, okay, where's the best ice cream? Let's go try these places and find out, just made a huge difference on everybody's mood. So how do you kind of work through all the emotions that moving can bring?
Well, it's a hard thing too. My kids had to leave their grandparents behind and had to leave their friends behind. But at the same time, it's just a matter of us building up the excitement of what is ahead of us and focus on those things that are ahead of us. And we make sure that our friends are still FaceTiming with their best friend once in a while. And we're talking to my in-laws almost every single day. So they're comforted that we have left, but we're still seeing them. We're still speaking to them on a regular basis. And look forward, create ways that we can look forward life in a new place. I'm a type A personality. I have a type A personality, just like you, Julie. And we sat down, we create vision boards of what we wanted for the season of our lives. And that really helped us to look forward to different things. So that really helped us. Again, taking the time to say, let's go explore that beach, or let's go explore that pizza place, or it brings excitement. But again, I know how task oriented I am. I have to always remind myself, heart first, family first, make sure that everyone's tank is full, make sure that everybody's connected and we're together in this. And then when we all together in this, then unboxing things and putting away, it just makes it's easier because everybody is helping. Right. But just for me, that was a major thing. It's just like family first. Even if we do this and take it longer, like I said, it took you longer to unpack. We're still not where we're supposed to be. I'm at my mom's house right now. We're moving in 3 weeks. So it's like, unpack everything from the RV, put everything in grandma's house, take everything out of grandma's house, put at the Airbnb, which is not our final destination yet. So there's move number 18 coming.
It's not.
And 18 and 19 coming.
It's never an easy transition most of the time, right? You're always kind of on this journey when you're going to one place to the next. And you have to kind of it's that flexibility, which I'm not real great at. That sometimes life has a way of teaching it to you, right? And I think your kids, especially in these challenges that we're going to be talking about, like they're watching how you handle the stress. And moving is right up there in like the top 5 stressors of life, right? And it is not easy. It's not easy. There's so many demands, and like you have to find a new pediatrician and call this person and find this piece of paper, and especially like buying a house, you have to like practically give them a kidney. I felt like with all the paperwork they were asking me for, like the day of, and I need this in 10 minutes, you're like, It's a lot of stress.
This is how we feel because we're dealing with immigration process again, right? Like that's the fourth time in our lives we're dealing with immigration. And it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of forms. Then we had an emergency that happened in Texas. My daughter got bit by a dog. We ended up at the emergency with her. I almost had to do hand surgery. And now we're dealing with claims of our insurance. Yes, there are all of those things. So that is one of the reasons why I say organization comes before everything else. If you're organized, then you're going to manage your time well to deal with all of those things, and you know where things are. Yeah. That's I think that's a big priority.
Do you have any like super awesome organizing, moving, packing tips that you do to kind of keep track of everything? You said something about like sectioning rooms.
Okay, so for us, there are always things that we have to carry with us when we're moving. So like I was saying, when we're moving, I want to make sure that what we're using our homeschool right now is with us. Mm-hmm. Especially when we're traveling like I did now. We just traveled for 7 weeks to get here. It took us that long because we had so much fun. We went to Yellowstone and Grand Teton and Arches and Texas and Tennessee. And so we took our time getting here. But what we use every day in our homeschool has to be with us. Important documents have to be with us at all times. Yeah. So we keep a fireproof box with all of our documents, passports, insurance, all of those things, birth certificates, marriage certificates, that has to be with us all the time. Because the last thing you want is, I don't know what box I put that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right, so for us, like those things are really important. Then medication, all your medical stuff, your pills, vitamins, whatever you take every single day, those things have to be with us. So those are like this is my priority bubble to organize, have it with me. And then we just organize things room by room, and I box everything. I number everything. Okay. And then I make a list of every box. And I put like box number 1, he has this, this, and this, box number 2. And normally I write on the boxes as well. So when we move to a new place, I know that the kids' bedroom has, now it doesn't happen anymore because we declutter so much living in an RV. But let's say the kids' bedroom have 11 boxes. Then I know that 11 boxes have to be there. And I know the order that I packed in the order that I need to unpack. And I know what's inside each one of them. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit like.
No, I think that's fantastic because I wish I would have known that before I moved this summer. Because you just like like master bedroom, and then you're like, what's in that box from the master bedroom? Is it like need this master bedroom? Is it like winter clothes for the master? Like I don't know what's in this box, And then like, oh, my son needed this one book. See, you're gonna laugh here. My son needed this one book for this class he was taking. And I didn't know ahead of time, but when I got here, I'm like, oh, I have that book. I have that book. I know I have that book. I unpacked all the boxes of books, which I have like over 2,000. So a lot of boxes of books, right? Looking for that one book. Was it in any of those boxes? Nope. Just this week, I'm finally now unpacking the garage, and there wasn't that much in it. It's just like I put like the Christmas stuff in it and like random stuff that was labeled garage. So this is box labeled garage. Guess what's in that box? It was like bungee cords and electric cords and that book. How'd that book get in that box? I don't know. But I've already bought the book by this point, right? Like
it happens. Listen, and there will always be that box of I had no time to pack box.
Yes, that's probably or it was in the random place in the garage, and I was like, oh, throw that in the garage box.
That is always, we always have that one box that was like, we have no more time, just throw everything in the box, we'll sort when we get there.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with that, dear friend, it's normal.
Yeah, it'll get unpacked. It's all good. But I do love that strategy of writing down, numbering, and then and that's good too, like for when you do get to the other side, going through it, do you have all the boxes, right? Oh, we're missing box 2. Where's that, right?
Yes, absolutely. It does make it easier. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Number the boxes and write down, okay, let's say box number 1 has underwear, socks, and swimming suits. Box number 2 has all the t-shirts, shorts, and whatever, skirts.
Yeah.
Box number 3 has all the bath towels. You just write it down.
Yeah.
So that way it makes it so
strategy.
much easier for you. And when we get to the room, we put the boxes in order. And then we just unpack like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put everything in order. For clothes,
you're blowing my mind here, Anna. I'm like, why have I not done
this? Some clothes that I hang in the closet, I actually keep them in the hanger.
I do.
That's what I do, and put them in the box with the hanger. I just take them out, stick them back on the closet.
Yeah,
it is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, the wardrobe boxes are fantastic for sure. So that's really helpful. I love that moving tip. That really, I hope I don't have to move again anytime soon. But if I do, I'm definitely using that. Now, how have people supported you and helped you kind of through all these different moves?
Oh, it's been amazing to see our neighbors and our friends helping us with all kinds of things. Every time we had to pack or do a garage sale or, anything that we had to get organized, we have always had, it's because we never lived actually very close to family, but we always had friends who came alongside us and helped us pack. And we always do the same thing for our friends as well. Yeah. So we have had great support when it comes to that. People come and say like, I hate to see you go, but I'm here to pack with you, and we cry together. Yeah. And and we cook for everybody, and it's always a blessing. But yeah, and our kids, they help us out a lot too, even though they're still young, but they still help us along.
Yeah, they're used to that kind of.
But I have to say, Julie, can we just talk about decluttering for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
We have lived here for 3 months, and I'm like, today I'm looking around, I'm like, where'd all this stuff come from? We didn't have it when we lived here.
We're so good in hoarding stuff, aren't we? Like we just so good in accumulate stuff that we don't use every day.
Especially homeschool stuff. Can we just say that?
Oh my goodness. Yes. We're always decluttering our homeschool. My husband said, you bought new books? Time to get rid of some more. Especially that we have everything in an RV. Everything has to be super organized, and we cannot have things that we're not using. So declutter before you move is the key. Declutter before you move. Get rid of everything that you're not using anymore. Remember those jeans that you loved and you used to fit on it 20 years ago, and you're still hanging to it saying one day I'm going to be size 4 again.
I gave up on that.
If it doesn't fit you, just let it go, buy a new pair of jeans. But I had so many dresses and so many clothes. I had outfits. Okay. I had this specific outfit I was wearing when we took our engagement picture.
I don't have any of those because there's no way I fit in any of that.
Let's just say I was way skinnier than I am today, and I was still holding on tight to all of those clothes and memories and stuff. So having less makes it so much easier when you move.
Oh, for sure.
So much easier to organize and stay organized as well.
Yeah, and even when I thought I had decluttered, once I got here, I was like, oh my word, I saw way too much. The homeschooling stuff, I think, multiplies when you're not looking. So I don't really know where it comes from.
I think our homeschool stuff had babies.
I didn't buy this stuff. I don't know where it came from.
They just keep multiplying.
Yeah, no.
And then we have like a million pencils.
Oh yeah.
We have a million pencils, and the kids go like, Mom, I can't find a pencil.
You can't see the forest through the trees sometimes, So is there anything that you wish you would have done differently throughout some of these moves?
I wish I had been more restful. I tend to get very stressed out when I want to see what's ahead and I can't see it, right? I can't see my tomorrow. I just can't. I can do my best today. So I tend to be like stressed out during moving season. I want to make sure everything is organized and we're not missing anything. I want to make sure that we're eating and the kids are doing their schoolwork. So I just wish I was more relaxed. Yes. At the end, we're going to get there and everything is going to get into the new place. Right. At the end, we all need to survive, but watch your stress level.
Yes, that's so important.
Because in my case, for example, it starts affecting my autoimmune diseases, and my body starts getting all hurt and shut down and headaches or whatever it happens. Each one of us, deal with stress in a different way. So just know that everything will eventually get there.
Yeah.
Just don't try not to stress too much. I wish I was less stressed out.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Amen, sister. I'm right there with you. That is what I would wish too. And I do think I did a much better job this time. Like I said, I finally at this age, at 45, figured it out that if I don't take care of myself and ramp up to self-care during super stressful times, like this ship's going down. So I have to say, okay, this 1 hour, I'm not going to unpack. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit and read a book, on all these boxes.
I did a lot of paddle boarding. That's what I did.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, after I've done some, decluttering or packing and getting school done, my husband came in and I said, I'm going to go to the water. I'll see you in a little bit. And I would just, go sit down on my paddle board and go paddling in nature and just be quiet. I just needed to be quiet.
Yes.
And not do anything. And sometimes I'll be just floating down the river for the longest time.
I love that.
Wanting to come back and see the boxes. But it did help me. Those mother rest time are necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely focus, take care of yourself. You need it. You need extra rest. You need extra time. Now, do you have any tips about, I know moving can be really hard socially to find friends, your people, your community, leaving that, starting over somewhere. And you've had to do that so many times. Did you have any tips or thoughts on kind of the social aspect for you and your kids?
Oh my goodness. One cool thing about road schooling is that we are part of a group that it's called Full-Time Families. And every time we go, we tell them, hey, we're going to be at this campground in Orlando. Who's going to be there on those days?
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then we got to meet all these different families. And in our community too online, I put out there and I say, hey, who is in Nashville? We're coming to Nashville. And then we just do meetups and we get together with other families. But if you don't, you don't know people in different places like that. Mm-hmm. What I advise you to do, and this happened to us when we moved to Prince Edward Island. I wish, Anna Green Gables was real, and I would just email her and say, I want to meet you, but no.
I want to be your bosom friend.
I want to be your bosom friend. And let's have some, what was that? Raspberry cordial together. Yes. But when we moved to Prince Edward Island, what we did, because we knew no one there, what we did was I actually got into a PEI homeschool group on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I began to tell people, hey, we're moving into the island. And, we're coming from and la, da, da, and I have kids this age. And I start actually connecting with moms before I even moved there.
That's awesome.
And when we got there, we were invited right away to meet with the local homeschool community. And it was such a blessing. And then when we moved to British Columbia, and that was one of the coolest things that happened to us, a mom who was following me on the blog or something, we became friends. And I did the same thing. I connected with other moms online on the local groups there on Facebook first. And then this family in particular, when we got there and we moved there, I had to fly there with my kids. My husband only came a week later. Our container took a month to get there, so we had nothing. And this family came to our house the first day that we got there. And they brought us a table with 4 chairs. They brought us mattresses. They brought us duvets. They brought us pillows. They brought us an amazing, healthy, organic, delicious meal. Wow. They just welcome us, and we're awesome. Friends to this day. We absolutely love that family, Amber and Adrian and their kids. We always connecting with them, even now that we're in Florida. But God raised people to bless us and help us through those transitions. Yeah, He does. And the key is not to be afraid to ask for help.
Amen. I was just thinking that. I had to learn that the hard way because I didn't want to bother people. I don't want people to think I was needy. So I can do everything myself. And it really, I mean, I think it was this last move where I was like, no, because people were like, oh, can I help you? I'm like, oh, no, but no, actually, could you come help pack? Or, oh, no, actually, can you help watch this kid while I go do this? Or, oh, actually, I need peanut butter. Like, and God just kept bringing these people. I think before I just kept pushing them away. Like, I was like, I want to help you.
Listen, people want to help, and you need to, it's okay. You know what keeps us from not asking for help? Pride.
Yep.
And we shouldn't be prideful people, right? We love helping people as well. So don't be afraid to say, hey, we're moving this day. We have no beds to sleep. That was our case. We had no beds to sleep. We had no covers, no pillows, no nothing. I had to go to IKEA the next day, which is not a bad thing to do. And I had to go buy sofas and you know, a bunch of different things. But our container was supposed to be there, and it only showed up a month later. And this family just came and loved on us and helped us to plug with the local community as well. And we're friends to this day. You know, we're never going to forget all the great things that they have done for us. And then when you move, when your friends move, you pay forward, and you know, you pay back and help them as well. So
I love that. I love the social media tip. That is huge, right? Like our neighborhood has like a neighborhood Facebook thing. So say, hey, you know, we're moving on this day. Anybody have kids this age, or, you know, anybody know a good pediatrician nearby? I mean, like, it's an amazing resource and tool when you're moving. It is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And they're going to tell you, do you have a doctor yet? Or, you know, do you have a church to go to? And, or anything like that. Or, hey, we are part of a co-op and you guys should come and check it out. Have you gone to the recreation center? There's a recreation center around the corner, or whatever it is. People are always ready to help. All you need to do is ask for help.
Yes, right. And like you were saying, let the help that God is bringing to you in and accept that. And he gives us what we need in those times, right? So we have to trust in that and accept it when it comes.
Never say no to a blessing.
Yes. Right.
Never say no to a blessing.
I had to learn that the hard way. Talk about like learning through these challenges, right? They are there for us to learn lessons from if we'll take the time to reflect on them. And it does shape and mold our character, but also our children's character as well. And that's one of the blessings, I think, of these challenges. Is there anything you wish that people knew kind of about the challenges about this, or that you would say to someone who is either going through a move or about to move, to kind of encourage them through this process?
Well, like I said before, you know, you're going to get to the other side. Don't worry. Try to stress.
I mean, stuff might come late, but you're going to get there. Yeah.
You're going to get there. Don't worry. You're going to get there, you know, but really just try to stress less. It's going to make things so much easier when you're not stressed out, when you're not freaking out about everything. That family time, that time for yourself, that's precious. Make sure that you're just organized and one step at a time. Don't be anxious about tomorrow. I'm preaching to myself here, but don't be anxious about tomorrow. Don't waste your time with what ifs. What ifs are just a big waste of time.
Yes.
It's one day at a time. It's right here, right now. Get it done. Then tomorrow you do the rest and it's fine. And keep that routine as much as possible. For us, like Charlotte Mason moms, we continue to read books through it or listen to audiobooks. We're still going nature walks. Try to keep that routine going with the kids. Somehow they need normalcy as much as you need normalcy as well.
Yeah, and I think that nature, the exercise, right? Like that's so therapeutic and key in the midst of craziness, to keep exercising and taking care of that part of yourself, but also the peacefulness of nature and the beauty of that. Even if it's just, okay, we're going to stop on the side of the road on this, like, look at all these wildflowers going around, you know, it doesn't have to be this big thing. It might be different.
A lot, Julie.
Yeah.
Especially before we left Canada. Canada is absolutely stunning, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And we wanted to take in the lakes and the mountains and, you know, all those beautiful places, the creeks and the river. And we will simply stop and say, let's go for a bike ride.
Yeah.
And or let's go down to the water and take the paddle boards, and you know, let's go kayaking for a little bit. And sometimes that half an hour, 40 minutes that we took just to relax, decompress, you know, and go connect with nature and connect with each other, connect with God, and just enjoy. It was exactly what we needed. It was exactly what we needed. And then we came back, we could be more productive actually because we were relaxed.
Yeah. And I love that, because it's not like, well, this is our formal nature study topic for this week is pumpkins. And we just spent the afternoon looking at wildflowers. So I'm actually now behind on my nature study. Or my child was supposed to read 75 pages in XYZ, but we spent 3 hours listening to this audiobook in the car, and now they're behind and da, 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 da. I think it's okay. Here are kind of these boxes of, you know, reading great literature, spending time out in nature, talking about ideas, like these big topics of ideas in these boxes of a Charlotte Mason education, and being creative about what fits in the box. Does that make sense? And it fits in with moving. Do you love that? My little pun there? That was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? Here's the thing. And we talked about that. Like we were, you know, we moved through we drove through so many different states and different vegetations. And we were like one day in Montana, and then a few days later we were in Utah, and it's all desert. It is all, you know, it's beautiful, stunning. And what we did was taking in what we were seeing at the moment and learn about what we were seeing, what was in front of us, right? So it's a good place for you to exercise the habit of attention. You know, put the full force of your mind in what is right in front of your eyes, what is in your hand right there. And we did that. And then we'll come back to the RV, and then we'll get some reading done, and we get the math done, and we get the language arts done. And then again, we'll get, you know, out again and take it in what's happening right now at that moment. So we did that as well. And it helped us during the, you know, the driving and the moving process up there as well. Spending time connecting with friends before we left, connecting with our friends from church and our church, you know, that was important to us as well.
Yeah.
Eating that last order of poutine before we leave Canada, or those things were important to us as well, you know.
Creating those memories too along the way, I think is important, and the traditions and things, you know, are super key. But I think, you know, you do have to give yourself a lot of grace when you are in this process, and not hold yourself to maybe what you were doing before you were moving, and give yourself some time throughout the process to kind of change things up a little bit and be more flexible. And it's not going to look like your little plans that maybe you wrote out at the beginning of the year or whatever, and to be okay with that. Just
remember, it's a season. And even for our routines need to be adjusted often to fit the season that we are in. And it's totally okay that your routine today does not look like a week ago, because you're going through different things in our life this week that, you know, through moving or through packing, that you were not going through a week ago. So it's okay to adjust to it.
Yeah. Well, you have just been an amazing source of wisdom, and thank you for your time in the midst of moving to come talk about moving. But I know this is be super helpful and encouraging for those who are going through this process or about to start this process, or even if you have a friend or someone that you're supporting kind of through these challenges. I think these are great episodes to listen to, that you can come alongside, like we were talking about with some of your friends, through these different challenges, and help someone who might be in a different season than you are, and give them the grace.
And let me tell you, take advantage of, you know, outsourcing your homeschool during that time as well. Your kids can take online courses. We did that while I was busy doing other things. Audiobooks work fantastic while you're packing as a family. So we did the whole Pilgrim's Progress this summer while we were packing. Awesome. You can do the whole, in PI when we were moving, we did the Chronicles of Narnia. We did all the books, and it was a blessing to us. So you can still be learning and enjoying that learning time together while you're doing those things.
That's great. And are you still offering the online classes with the sisterhood stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're actually,
Tell us about that.
it's open right now, and we're giving
Okay.
the first 30 days free if you sign up for the homeschool
What?
sisterhood. So
That's
make sure you
awesome.
share your link, Julie, so
Yes, I'll put
everybody
that in
can
the show
come and
notes for
join
sure.
us.
Yeah. Okay.
We
When does
have,
it like, I don't know when the episode will air. So when does it close?
we're closing at the end. I think we're closing, I'll say at the beginning of November. So
Okay. So yeah.
but let us know if your followers, your audience, wants to join us.
Okay.
We make it happen for them.
Okay.
But it is a blessing because we have all the online book clubs. We're Charlotte Mason community, Christ Center community. We got apologetics co-op for the kids. We got Friday Feast, where every week the kids learn about a famous composer, artist, poet. We do poetry tea time, virtual poetry tea time. We do show and tell online. And we have also the Bible study for kids and for teens. There's a lot. There's mentorship calls. There's all kinds of different things. So
I know you're amazing. I don't know how you do all you do. Really.
I don't know how I would homeschool without that. So I created because I need it.
Yes. And that's a very good point. Every time I've moved, it seems like I feel like, oh, I need some friends. Why can't I find anything? And I can have a little pity party for myself. And then God's like, why don't you start XYZ co-op? Or why don't you start a book club so you can meet some friends? I mean, like, it's just like, I always find like God's like, okay, if this is what you want, go ahead. I have to be the one to kind of, maybe that's just our personalities, right? God knows, because God knows we're going to make it happen.
We're so similar, right? I do the same thing. If I want something and I can't see it, nobody's doing it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's actually how we launched the Charlotte Mason Inspired Conference, because I was talking to Tatiana and I said, I really want to go to a Charlotte Mason conference, but I can't go in person. Yeah. And she said, well, let's just do it then. I said to her, let's just do one. And she said, okay, let's do it. There you go.
And you're doing that at the beginning of November?
We have our fall retreat at the beginning of November.
So this year in the beginning of October. So people should still be able to sign up for that.
Yes. We're in October already, Julie.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yes. And Julie is teaching at our fall retreat, which is a hands-on Charlotte Mason retreat.
I'm excited. So yes, you really are amazing. I really appreciate all that you do for all of us. So thank you so much for joining us. And I will link to all your amazingness for people to check out all the resources that can help them through this moving time and kind of aid in their homeschool and give them some support, which we all need, but especially when you're going through some of these challenges. So thank you, Ana, again, for coming on.